necessarily overlook or underlook what these two candidates have, but we, fairly compensate and we regulate those through either associations that we can bring in the future, or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna just take a bit back and make it personal to you. So as an executive customer success, when you hire a new employee, what do you look at first? Let's give an example. If you're looking for someone in marketing,
Yes.
what is it that you look for? What makes, obviously we have a spec that you follow, but what makes a CV stand out of the 100 CVs that you look at?
Like, the first thing I would want to know is, what unique value did you bring in the business? That's the first thing. I think as businesses or as leaders within businesses, one of the most key aspects within our KPIs or KPAs is managing or performance management, or leadership and managing people, which goes alongside with that. So obviously I do look at, it's a sales role. I am looking at somebody with a sales hunter profile, because it comes with the job. I'd look at aspects such as industry exposure. I'd look at aspects such as outreach, your network and so on. It doesn't necessarily filter down to, am I looking for somebody that went to university, or am I looking for somebody that only has a trick? In many instances, I've employed people, I've employed interns. You've invested into short courses for people, to strengthen and better their qualifications. So those would be your go-to aspects for me as a manager and a hiring manager. We do have certain roles whereby they literally require you to have somebody that's qualified in that role. Like, having a developer that's building a system, or integrating systems, or transforming an existing system. Your work requires somebody with a technical background and aspect to understand the potential challenges. Many aspects. So to answer your sales question, I look at those aspects.
Okay, because I think a lot of people, when they look at building a CV, it's very daunting to them, because they think, I don't have a qualification.
Yes.
I don't have the experience. Where do I start? And I think the CV has to sell you, right?
100%.
So you have to not be shy to write as much information on there, so that you can get that sense of element of what the person particularly is, who they are through their CV. So I totally get where you're coming from. And I think a lot of the times people feel a bit discouraged because they don't have the necessary qualification or degree. And we see a lot of successful people that have dropped out of, Elon Musk dropped out of university. And look at him now. There's so much that we can do to actually gain the knowledge to prosper in whatever career you pick. And I think employers should really not overlook the skills that people build through online. There are so many boot camps that people can literally go on and gain skills through. I don't know, do you have any industry tips that you can give people that don't necessarily have the advantage to, enroll and better their skills?
Absolutely. For the past couple of years, we are in the fourth IR, as you are well aware. And in my career, I've came across people that has responded positively to certain digitizations of certain stuff, which includes obviously your technological tools, your softwares, and so on. And my belief is that we should familiarize ourselves with current trends that are happening in the market.
Mhm.
You know, the most important aspect when you look at a job and you are applying for a job is to actually go through that job spec and read the job spec and understand what is required. You know, most of the time when I, you know, advertise for a recruitment consultant position, it's a practical example. You'd get people that are, you know, coming from a HR perspective within an organization. They were involved in terms of recruitment or whatsoever on, or perhaps they even done recruitment as a recruitment consultant in the white collar side of the business, focusing on bulk recruitment. And sometimes the applicants would be irrelevant because if you go through the job spec, you would find out that they might even need somebody that understands a specific industry perhaps, or, you know, need somebody that has a certain pool of candidates or a certain network that they can, you know, already at their disposal use to start sourcing candidates and obviously for outreach. So the best way that I normally, you know, talk to my candidates about, you know, talk to my clients about, and advise people on is align what's required by the employer with what you have in experience. So using the same generic CV to apply for the same job doesn't do you justice at the same time. Certain people have longer CVs which have relevant information, but you might get that the information is perhaps down there, or it's missing information, or it's something different. Like, I mean, I haven't necessarily as well came across a CV of somebody where they would speak about how they've, you know, implemented or how they've contributed to innovation in terms of the current tools that we have, such as AI. You know, our clients speak to that and say, listen, I'm looking for somebody that can do this, somebody that understands, you know, that's literate in computer. You know, computer literacy in the life of today is literally not Microsoft Word. It's
and
literally
people
not.
get that wrong with the innovation part. They don't get how they can show innovation in their CV. I totally get that part.
Absolutely. You know, reflect on, you know, your knowledge on, you know, AI. You know, AI is so big. AI is what we eat, it's what we drink, it's what we see. It is the world of today. It defines a lot of things. A lot of systems rely on AI in the life of today. It has many and multitudes of capabilities that actually requires a human touch for them to be functional. So, you know, people out there should speak about stuff like that. People out there should speak about what the employer might, you know. We're not in a day where we will ask you, you know, what does our company do? You know, what's our mission? What's our vision? We live in a different world whereby the moment I sit with somebody and I interview them, what I want to hear is, this is what I've done, this is how I've done it, using these tools, using these recent technologies, and this is the results.
Amazing. So in a nutshell, there's no right or wrong answer to it. It comes to university or non-university and just sticking to skills. I think it depends. You can't obviously want to be a doctor and not go to school.
Absolutely not.
It has to be the kind of job you pick, and if you can actually get the skills online by doing a few courses, you can build yourself through that. And just in closing, I would just like for you to obviously tell them a little bit about what we do at CSOL and your role as well. And there's just basically confirm that yes, you can go to university, great, but you can also empower yourself in certain ways.
Okay. Yes, definitely. So I've been with the company now for the past 2 years, and a couple of months counting, obviously. I'm currently the Executive Customer Success Officer, which is exposed to a lot of aspects, which includes your, you know, in local jargon we call it business to business, international jargon we call it corporation to corporation, which is more of C2C. So my key focus is understanding the client's requirements, understanding the client's needs, and obviously, you know, being the solution, you know, in terms of their hiring, you know, challenges, hiring milestones, hiring objectives, hiring goals, which aligns with, you know, the goal of the business at the
Yeah.
end of the day. So at Sisal Connect, Sisal Recruitment, that's what we've been doing now for the past 9 years or so. We were originally a traditional recruitment company, and we started with recruiting certain people in certain positions, and it was what we've been doing for years. It's been our DNA. We've done literally recruitment from candidates living with disabilities. We do recruitment for candidates that are looking for consultancy positions. Perhaps somebody's looking for a project or a fixed term contract position. We do recruitment for that. We do recruitment for your permanent recruitment. If you're looking at it from the talent acquisition side of things or the talent management side of things, we've also decided in the previous year that we're going to transform the business and obviously digitize the business, and that's when we introduced Sisal Connects. That is solving many major issues that we have locally in the country. It is one of the first local job boards that I'm aware of in the country ever since I've done recruitment. So it's making a change. It's forming partnerships with your local hiring businesses. It's forming partnerships with businesses that actually are situated in our communities, and we connecting and obviously closing the gaps between the imbalances of having a company within the community, but then the community is not developing economically and so on. So the system was originally built for that, but also addressing your issues such as, you might know as well as a recruiter, that you come across a lot of fraudulent qualifications, you come across a lot of fraudulent jobs, jobs that has no information and so on. So we verify the jobs, we verify the candidates that are on our systems, we simplify the process, we digitize the process, we also eliminate the issue that most of our youth people have in the country, which is applying for jobs as well and not getting feedback. So we've built this amazing system that we encourage people to go on to and obviously register for free, and obviously get verified jobs at the end of the day. But it's amazing stuff that we do. We live in a world of cutting edge technology. So obviously we need to familiarize ourselves as a business in terms of growing the business and obviously uplifting.
Keep up with the times.
Definitely.
But thank you so much for coming on and having this discussion with me. I appreciate it. I'm sure everyone appreciates it too. I will encourage people to go on Sisal Connects and register. And if you have any comments, you can always like, subscribe, and thank you.
Thank you.